9, 8, 7.
This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville podcast.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. You ain't first, you're last.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the show tonight. We have a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of information to get through to you, and we also have our classic Ballsville free entry giveaway. Tonight's entry, we're gonna have 2 freebies sponsored by my co-host here, Chris. Chris, how are you doing, and how's your week going without fantasy football?
I tell you what, it's a long wait until many leagues start. Super Bowl weekend, I tell you that much.
No, absolutely, but it'll be here before you know it. You and I, we've been doing some prep behind the scenes, and as long as we just keep those wheels turning, we're going to look up and realize, oh crap, we are here. On the opposite end, somebody who's not waiting for fantasy football, who's in the middle of a startup draft as we speak, Mr. Tennessee Nick. How are you doing, and how are you liking this startup in Blue Eyes?
I'm doing pretty good, Alex. Thanks for asking. It's awesome. It's good to be back there drafting. There's pros and cons. Early drafting. Pro is, league activity. It fosters it. A con, you could be somebody and draft somebody that gets hurt in the off season. It's always the risk, but that's why we play the game.
No, absolutely. We get that all often. People say, why do you draft so early? Injuries could happen. And then we get to training camp and week 3 of preseason, and injuries happen there. And we get to week 1 and 2 of the NFL season, injuries happen there. So, if you're not worried about injuries, and you think you have some knowledge on some roster depth and some insight on some rookies, the mini leagues are going to be the game that you want to take part of. We had, we'll get to our results here in a minute. We're going to comb through a lot of our winners as we talk about these games. Tons of information, guys, really. So we're just going to get right into it. Right here on the screen, we have the Ballsville website. If you guys haven't visited there, go check it out. Sticky Picky has imported his version of the Ballsville website to our platform. It's really taken off. Players love it. It's much more easy to navigate. If you remember the old one, it was built by me. I learned over the course of the year and built it myself. And luckily, we have Sticky Picky because it just wasn't as beautiful and well organized as this is here. All right, getting into it, guys. We're going to move right into some NFL talk, some of the playoff rewind. We talked about these games last week on the soundboard. We'll jump right into it. This is all information that you know. We're not going to spend too much time because if you want NFL analysts to tell you what they saw in these games, there's plenty of that out there. We're just your, Ballsville neighborhood residents, and we're going to tell you what we thought. First off, we have the Rams coming out on top against the Panthers in a shootout here. I'll pass it over to you, Chris. Tell us what you saw with this game.
A little concerning that the Panthers actually stayed in this game. I felt like the Rams should have probably won by double digits. Especially concerned with them going to play Chicago in the cold now. But the finish was exactly how I expected. The Rams won. Should have been won by more comfortably. But they pulled it out. That's all you have to do in the postseason is win.
Absolutely. Nick, what about you? What did you see during this game?
It looks like the Rams kind of have found their kryptonite. I don't think they look like that unstoppable team anymore. Chris put the icing on the cake. It's gonna be tough next week, or in a couple of days, really. Because we'll talk about this later. But Matt Stafford, he's 1-9 in really extremely cold / snowy games. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. And speaking of Stafford, if you guys remember before the season, we had a lot of concerns with his back injury, and he was one of the last quarterbacks taken off the board. Hell of a season and hell of a value for Matt Stafford. So good luck to them going forward. As a 49er fan, I really don't mean that. It was nice to see the Panthers put up a good fight, give them a hell of a game so that they don't come into the conference, into the next round, the divisional round, well rested. Before we move on to the next game, let's give a quick shout out to our audience here. We have Jerry, Mr. J Label, Ethan, who's recovering, it seems like, ourselves, Todd Barber, Cyborg, Asai, how's it going? The wife, Francis, Chicken Boy, Zubikis, who's also on the mend. I know your kids were sick last week. Mrs. Barber's here, and I think Ethan just joined the.
Yeah, he tried to get in. He's trying to get in. Yeah,
hey,
there we
what's
go.
up, man? How are you?
Surprise. Good, how are you?
I get rid of a beard and you're growing yours.
Well, welcome in, Ethan. I'm glad you're here. We're going to wing it. We'll move on to the next game, guys. We had the Packers. I don't know if the Bears won or if the Packers beat themselves, but this was just a collapse on a stage. You know, I didn't see this coming. You're talking about 25 fourth quarter points for Chicago. They really stepped it up when they needed to. Ethan, welcome to the show. Well, let us know what you saw in this game and how you felt about it.
I had a good looking under bet in this game until all of a sudden Chicago, Caleb Williams, I think, likes to not play for real until the fourth quarter. And I mean, all Green Bay really had to do was, a couple of things right. I mean, whether it be, get a couple stops on defense or even just make the field goal in crunch time or, I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, this is a playoff atmosphere and they just let their foot off the gas, it looks like. I mean, Caleb, you got to give props where it's due, though. Caleb showed up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's good to see Caleb kind of step up when it counts. We had him fall apart year one a lot of the times. I think this is just the difference that Ben Johnson makes to have leadership like that on the sideline, keeping everybody's head in the game, letting them know not to give up and to keep going. I think if you're going to win a championship, this is what it takes. It takes that grit, especially in the fourth quarter. 25 points in the fourth. Chris, did you see that coming? Do you think this is going to be Caleb's career pattern, or you think this is just a lucky game for the Bears?
It better not be, because if he wants to be successful, he's going to have to spread out his success in the whole game. You can't expect to go 7-0 and come behind victories every year. You had a fourth place schedule this year. Next year, you're going to have a first place schedule. It's going to get tougher. Not only that, you score 6 points in the last two games combined in the first three quarters. That's not sustainable, and the competition is going to get better. The Rams are better than the Packers. You cannot go into the fourth quarter down 21 points and expect to pull out a victory. It's just not going to happen every week. So if they're down by double digits in the fourth quarter against the Rams, you can kiss that game goodbye.
Mm.
Absolutely. One thing that I did notice too is that a lot of this hints on the inability to lean on Josh Jacobs. I don't know if he's just not healthy, but he wasn't able to help him seal that game. You saw that offense just get halted. And Bears have a decent defense, and they can do that. But if you're a good offense like the Packers are supposed to be, you're able to overcome that, right? We'll go to Nick for the next game. We had my own San Francisco 49ers defeat the Eagles. Last week when we talked about this, I remember saying the winner of this game is going to be the team that doesn't beat themselves. Nick, what do you think about that, and do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Philadelphia couldn't really do anything offensively. I know it was a close game, but I think San Francisco, they had issues on the game too, but I think the Eagles just really kind of beat themselves. San Francisco played a really good game. Losing Kittle really hurt, but
yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super sold on the Eagles. I knew they were kind of a little bit fraudulent this year. I think they should have also fired Sirianni, but that's a question for a different day. yeah, it's bad. I get they had a high expectations winning the Super Bowl last year, but that was just kind of all year. It's kind of been a really vanilla offense.
So one thing that I did notice is that San Francisco, their defense was so porous coming into the playoffs. And then you look at a game like this where they held the Eagles down. You know, a lot of it was the Eagles beating themselves, as we said. But Chris, we'll go to you. Do you think that San Francisco's playoff defense has just kicked it up a notch, or do you think this is a matter of the Eagles' offense failing to launch?
Yeah, this has been the story of the Eagles all year. I think they're the benefit of that matchup. I really thought going into last weekend that the 49ers defense was ripe for the picking, and the Eagles just decided, or A.J. Brown decided, hey, I just don't want to be here, so I'm just going to drop important passes, and it just went that way for them. I think for the remainder of the playoffs, this is exactly what Seattle wanted to happen. Once the Rams won, 49ers winning gave them another week, because I don't think San Francisco can go in there against the Seattle defense and put up the same kind of effort and come out with a victory. Seattle plays the 49ers in this exact same game, and they're gonna win handily too. So this is a benefit to Seattle more than anything.
And it just goes to show how important that week 18 matchup was between the Niners and the Seahawks. You're looking at two people on the panel here, me as a 49er fan and Nick down there as a Seahawks fan. We're going to be at odds this week. You know, we're mortal enemies for at least the next 7 days or so. I just saw Sam Darnold pop up with a questionable tag, something about an oblique. Nick, you know anything about that?
I don't really. Hopefully he's good to go. He should be. He's had almost 2 weeks off. But I know I've seen the spreads and all that stuff, but me being a Seahawks fan, Alex being a Niner fan, Alex could attest to this. He's probably seen the stats. Purdy's never lost at Lumen Field before. So take it what you want with it. But I know I won't be acting like it's a gimme game. I know Kittle down's unfortunate, but it's a divisional rival. I mean, I even take the Cardinals. I'm worried about them a little bit, even though they're kind of the little brother that doesn't do anything. So you can't really hate them.
So Cyborg pops in and he says, as a Cowboys fan, I'm very glad that the Eagles lost, but it killed my playoff bracket. We're going to talk about brackets here in a minute. We actually have some pretty cool bracket stuff going on. Quick hello to Jay Malone. He says, what's up, nerds? I embrace that and represent that remark. We're all about the nerddom here. Thank you very much. We'll get into the next game. We'll come over to Ethan. We had the Bills barely squeak one out against the Jaguars. Ethan, did you watch this game? Tell us what you saw.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole game start to finish. I made a bold prediction at halftime that Cam Little was gonna miss that field goal to end the half. It's a lot of pressure on that kid. I mean, he's nailing them in warm-ups, nailing them all. You know, this is the playoffs. I don't know. I just had a feeling he was gonna miss that field goal. I mean, this was a great game. Trevor Lawrence actually, played pretty good, other than a couple picks. But I mean, other than that, both quarterbacks played good. The running game was pretty limited for the Bills. The Jags had the running game on point. I think the Jags honestly should have kept running the ball with ETN and Bashal Tootin. The Bills couldn't stop them on the ground. I mean, they really couldn't. I mean, that's really what I would have done. But overall, a great game. That carry to end the game for the Bills, and then that interception at the end. I mean, it was a great game. Go Bills.
It was very fun to watch. And I'll talk about these games in brevity. So unfortunately, we had my younger son was in the hospital, undiagnosed. He had a couple of issues. Feeling a lot better now. Thank you to all of you who reached out and asked questions. I appreciate that. But I watched the games there in the hospital with him, and this was one of the more exciting ones where we were just kind of glued to it, just not saying anything. During the Niner game, even we're both Niner fans. We were sitting there holding conversations and stuff. There was a nice little lull during that game up until the end there. But this game I found pretty exciting through and through, just to see these two clash. Chris, do you have anything to add to this game?
Who would have thought that it wouldn't be the Eagles running Hurts with a tush push that was going to get the play banned, because that run at the end of the game for
Nice.
Josh Allen is going to be the reason why that play is banned in the offseason.
It's going to be interesting to watch. They're going to come together and vote on that one more time. All right, we'll move on from this. This is going to be this was my only wrong one on the bracket. I really thought that the Jags had enough to get over the Bills. But I think, am I right? Shakir caught like 10 passes, right? I mean,
He did.
This was jeez. That was the difference in this game. And when I picked Jags, I specifically said because the Bills don't have a receiver they can count on. And so here I am eating crow.
Hey, and shout out to my Oregon State Beavers. Brandon Cooks, I think he's like,
Right.
what, 30, 31? He's still putting up good numbers, and he's still proven that he's a pretty good receiver in the league.
That's interesting that you say that, because we talked about Keenan Allen earlier in the season, and I mentioned that in my experience, I see a lot of these veteran receivers who perform early on in the season taper out, and they lose their gusto towards the middle of the season, which happened to Keenan. But then where the hell does Brandon Cooks come from and just show up in the playoffs? So good point. The wife says no beaver. Okay, honey. All right. Chargers. If you guys didn't get a good nap in, this would have been a great time for it. We had the Chargers put up 3 against the Patriots. Wasn't necessarily a big show from the Pats. I think Drake May did just enough to facilitate the win of the game. I didn't see anything spectacular on my end. Nick, did you watch this game?
Unfortunately, I wish I could get that about 3.5 hours back. The Chargers, sorry, Sarah, they looked really flat. I know Herbert's been dealing with that hand, but man, he needs some help, and it's apparent that his 2 best linemen got hurt, because he was fighting for his life every time he dropped back to pass. He never had time to look for an open receiver. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
It was pure domination. I mean, the Patriots didn't play super lights out like they always do, but I mean, against a team like that, I mean, playing that bad, and I mean, Seattle's been bad for years, so I could relate to this. It's tough to watch, and I think any team could beat that.
Welcome in, Zach and Malone. Make sure you guys enter the keyword freebie for your shot at a free entry at the end of the show. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head for me watching Herbert back. So my kid, when he got his driver's license and I knew he was going to have to take the freeway to work, and you just sit at home and you're just so panicked and worried. That's how I felt every time that Justin Herbert dropped back. They were just coming after him, and there was nothing they could do about it. I think a lot of the game plan revolved around Omarion Hampton, and you saw him unable to go for most of that game. Something's definitely wrong there. That probably threw off their game plan, but nevertheless, it felt like this score could have been doubled for the Patriots. Ethan, you agree with that? Do you think that there's any hope for the Chargers once they get their linemen back next year?
It's hard to tell. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I thought this game was going to be a shootout, a high-scoring game. 2 great quarterbacks in Drake May and Justin Herbert. I'm thinking they're going to air the ball out all game. I was watching this game for like the first quarter, probably some of the second, and I couldn't watch any. Like, this is the only game I couldn't watch the whole thing of it. And I think maybe the Packers-Bears, I didn't watch a little of that one too. But this game was just overall ugly. After the third quarter, it looked like the Patriots were finally running away with it. I expect Drake May to, even though they're playing against what people think is the best defense in the league next week, I expect Drake May to get it together and put more than 16 up.
Oh yeah.
Drake May is gonna pop up here a little bit later. I have some information about a big startup draft that might shock you guys. All right, guys. We have a game that likely ended 2 careers. We'll see about Tomlin, but I think this is the end of the line for Aaron Rodgers, and it's a shame that he goes out in such a fashion. Chris, I know you were sitting back and chuckling at this game. It was quite a sight to see with the Texans just routing the Steelers. Tell us what you saw, sir.
I mean, it wasn't a bad game until the fourth quarter started and the rails went off. I'm pretty sure. It was 7-6 entering the fourth quarter. It was the misfortune of the sack, fumble, touchdown, and the other turnovers there that really did them in. The Texans defense came to play. Houston's did too, or the Texans did. Pittsburgh's did too. The problem was that Houston was turning those turnovers into points off the turnovers. So, goodbye, Rodgers. Hello, the next 35-year-old free agent they bring
in. Okay, let's go to Ethan. Ethan, all right. Say, Pete Carroll's gone. If you're management over there in Las Vegas, you think a team like that's kind of in a rebuild phase is looking at a coach like Tomlin, wondering if they can't get him to come back and coach for them? What do you think Tomlin's future is going to be in the NFL?
I definitely think we've seen a couple people in chat already mention it, but I do think that he's definitely taking a year off. I really think he'll come back. I think that he wants to come back. I just think that he's been better than average for the last 20 seasons, which is pretty great when you think about it. It really is. He led the Steelers team to a winning record, and this Steelers team just, to me, they just didn't cut it. To me, Houston, like even going into this game, Houston, this was pretty much a bye-week game for them, even though Stroud was terrible. Stroud isn't the answer in Houston. I'm saying that now. Stroud is not the answer. And, Stroud better get it under control, or else they're in for a long game against Drake May next week. They're not going to come out with a win against a good team. They're not.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nuts too. And I'll mention before we move on from here that I enjoy watching the Patriots play just because they play so hard on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. They don't have any real talent at wide receiver beyond Diggs, who's at the end of his line. But it's still fun to watch, Drake May with his magical 8-yard passes that they look so good, go for 6-8 yards, keep the chains moving. And they just kind of methodically beat you to death. So I'm really looking forward to this next matchup. See what team is better structured to come out on top between the.
Hey, put some respect on Kayshon Boutte's name. He's a good receiver, and Pop Douglas too.
Oh man, who doesn't like Pop Douglas? That's like a permanent underdog receiver. So that was it for the playoff rewind, guys. We're gonna do a quick playoff fast forward. We're looking at the Saturday games here. We have the Bills versus the Broncos. We have the 49ers versus the Seahawks, which we went over a little bit. Let's just kind of go around the board and let you guys make your picks. We'll start with you, Chris. Go ahead and give us your winners and how you think these games play out.
Well, I think the Broncos aren't as good as the Jags. The Bills beat the Jags, so the Bills should beat the Broncos. I don't care that Denver had an extra week to prepare. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen can get the job done. And the other game, I think this fell right into the Seahawks' hands the way they wanted. As long as Darnold doesn't, break down and pull a Darnold, the Seahawks should win this one quite easily too. Probably not as big as it is. Some people probably think having the week off, but they should win by a touchdown.
Okay, so Chris has the Seahawks and the Bills. Ethan, we'll go to you. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Bo Nix is not beating Josh Allen. I don't care if they're playing in a tough atmosphere. I don't care if Josh Allen is banged up. Josh Allen is not losing to Bo Nix. That defense is something scary, but this is Josh Allen's time to shine. It really is. I'm sorry, Broncos fans. It's his time. And I do like the Seahawks to beat the Niners, but I do think it is going to be a close game. I even think that it could come down to maybe even a field goal or a touchdown. I think it's going to be within a touchdown, but I think Seahawks are going to steal that game against the Niners.
Awesome. Okay, so we're 2 for 2 here. Nick, what do you think? You got the same guys?
I do. Ethan knows how I feel about the Bills, but I don't think they'll lose to the Broncos. I think they're considerably the better team in that game. think next week that they'll have a tough one. But in the divisional round, 49ers Seahawks, like I said, divisional matchup, rivalry. Kittle could be out. Everybody could be out, and I'm still worried about this game. Give me the Seahawks, but I don't think they'll cover the spread. But yeah, I mean, give me the Bills and the Seahawks.
Okay, cool. So at the risk of sounding really dumb here, I'm going to go a little contrarian. I think that there is a way that the Broncos beat the Bills. I don't think it's going to be in the hands of Bo Nix. I think it's going to be that defense because they have the linebacking core to contain the Buffalo Josh Allens. And because of the lack of a dominant receiver for the Broncos, or for the Bills, sorry, I think it's going to give Surtain flexibility to kind of shut down a half of the field. I expect the Bills to game plan, with half of the field to play with because they're going to be avoiding Pat Surtain because they don't have the core that can beat him. And then that home field advantage and that extra week off, I think that's going to play a role in it. That was a hard-fought game for the Bills. I do see a path for it. I would put it at about 51-49, but I'll take the Broncos in that just to see if I can't, double up against you guys because damn well I'm going to take my 49ers to beat the Seahawks. You can't rely on Christian McCaffrey to drop a pass in the end zone every time you play. Brock Purdy, the narrative, he's 0-3 without Kittle starting, but like you said, he's undefeated in Seattle. Darnold's questionable. We'll see it all the time, guys. If you have a bye week, you might, gain a little bit of rust, hard season. I'm going to take San Francisco to win that, and it's a lot of wishful thinking, but if the Broncos can beat the Bills, Niners can beat the Seahawks. Put it on the board. And that's going to do it for our playoff portion of this, guys. Actually not. We have the other side of the ball. We have our Sunday games, Texans, Patriots, Rams, Bears. Real quick, let's go backwards. Nick, what do you think about these games? Who do you think is going to win these?
I think Patriots are going to they're going to win pretty handily. I mean, the Texans defense is raw, but Patriots have a really good defense. I think their defense is better than Pittsburgh's, and their offense is substantially better as well. So give me the Patriots on that one, and then Rams, Bears. Give me the Bears. Stafford, he's 1-9 in super cold / snowy weather. I just don't think that offense will be the same as playing in an indoor stadium. So give me the Patriots and the Bears.
Okay. Hey, welcome in Short Stack, Dead Man Soul. Make sure you guys enter the keyword freebies for your shot at a freebie here in a few minutes. Ethan, do you agree with Nick's picks?
Somewhat. Let's go with the Patriots and Texans. Stroud, I'm not a believer in. I'm really not. Christian Gonzalez is going to have somebody like held to nothing, literally like their best pass catcher, and it's not going to be Nico because he's ruled out. Drake May is going to bounce back. Patriots are going to blow them out of the water. Let's just get that straight. And then I do think the Rams are going to beat the Bears. I just think when you got a superstar wide receiver, best in the league, Puka Nacua, I just think that that's just a weapon that's just too much for the Bears. Bears and we've seen them. They like to play from behind. And I think this is not a team you play from behind against. I mean, you're not going to beat a team playing from behind against the LA Rams. So those are my two picks on this one. Patriots, Rams.
You got a lot of people agreeing in the chat here. Johnny Sims, welcome in. Make sure you enter, keyword freebie. Chris, what about you? You got the same setup, Patriots and Rams?
I think this Patriots Texans game is going to be one of them 13-7 or
Yes.
something like that games, and both defense are good. Texans is actually great. The problem is the Patriots have that man on the other side of the field, and he's going to be able to score more. So I'll take the Patriots 13-7. The other game, the Rams and Bears, this should be a decent game. I don't care that it's colder than heck out there. This could be the highest scoring game of the weekend. I would still, and I said it earlier. I said I would pick the Rams 35-23. I just think they're better than the Bears, and the Bears won't be able to make that comeback that they seem to make every week that they win. So give me the Rams 35-23.
We are in lockstep here. We're all going to pick the Rams. I don't think there's a way that the Bears beat the Rams. They have a pretty decent defense, but we saw the Rams squeak out a win when things didn't exactly go right, and we know what they can do when they're firing on all cylinders. They got a pair of running backs now with Blake Corum coming into his own. I like the Rams' firepower. I don't care about the weather. I'm going to agree with you guys, and I think that the Patriots are a complete team on both sides of the ball. And the Texans are elite on defense, but just above average, or maybe just average on offense. I will give them a shout out because coming into the season, they were ranked 32nd in offensive line, bottom of the barrel. Everybody thought that was going to be their downfall, and here they are in the playoffs, around the second round. And the last I checked, which was week 15, that offensive line was up to 21 per PFF. So any closer to average that they can get is a success for that line. There's a lot of YouTube videos about some of their linemen blocking nobody or blocking each other. It was comical stuff.
I'll say this too: CJ Stroud has won a playoff game each year he's been in the league. So, I mean, it could be all defense, but he's got wins in the playoffs.
He also fumbled the ball 5 times last week.
That's not
lost 3 of them.
Unless there's like 2 more games I don't know about, that's going to be all for our playoff portion of this, which is great because we get into some actual Ballsville talk, and this is what's going to be the heart of the podcast. We're going to move a little bit brisk through this because we have so much information. A lot of it, sorry to tell you, is going to be me rambling on. Before we get to that point, we're going to pass over to Chris. I'll let him tell you a little bit about this Ballsville bracket that we are looking at.
So before the playoffs started, you had to have your bracket completed out. So far, we've got 3 people that have perfect 6 out of 6. Our very own Tennessee Nick is one of them. Which reminds me, and I didn't say this earlier, but you picked Jacksonville last week on the pod, and the Bills won. So you were giving out false information.
Hey, to be clear, I did try to update ESPN, but I must have accidentally not clicked save. So I was bummed Jacksonville lost, but then I checked ESPN and I was like, okay.
And the last I checked, there's still 50 out of the 58 entries that are eligible still to get into first place if things go their way. I am not one of those. I ended up losing 3 out of the 6 matchups over the weekend, so I'm completely out of winning first place, but it still says I have a 0.1 chance of getting in the top 5 or top 3. So let's pray for that. Pretty much anybody in that top 50 can still win this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's anything goes.
And Chris, do you know? So I know Sarah's going to be doing Super Bowl squares. Is that something that you're coordinating with her, or you're a part of that?
We have not talked about this. I know she's excited about doing that, but in general, a Super Bowl square would be 100 squares on the board. You put your name on pick a square, and then after all the squares are picked, a randomizer will put each number into where you are on the board, and those numbers, the AFC number and the NFC number, will be the numbers that you're looking to get for however she wants to set it up. If it's just end of the first quarter, end of the second quarter, end of the third quarter, end of the fourth quarter. It could go. I've seen squares go for every square or every score. People get a portion of it. So it's however Sarah wants to set it up. I have not had that discussion with her. I just know that she 100% wants to do a Super Bowl squares board. So if you're interested in that, keep paying attention to that. I'm sure Sarah will let us know more about that later on.
So definitely scan this QR code right here over my face. That's going to lead you to the Discord if you want to be a part of any of these games that we play on the side. It's not just fantasy football leagues. We do a lot of fun stuff throughout the season and the off season. Scan that code, get in the Discord. That's where you'll find that information. You'll also be able to find it in the Ballsville hub on Sleeper. And then occasionally we do put it on videos like this when we attach them and upload them. One thing before we move on from here, you can see me on the top here. I'm ranked 4th along with a billion other people. I got 5 right. I missed picked the Jags. You see Nick there. Number 2 is Soul Stiller 007. That is not Mrs. Presidente there. That's another Soul Stiller. Jay Wilmain, that is our friend JoJo. And then down here is Grizz Tony, who we're going to hear a lot of Grizz's names. So Grizz, hopefully you jump in at some point or check us out later. Again, guys, enter freebie. The mini league entries are really remarkable. A lot of cool stuff goes on with these mini leagues, and they are the first to draft. But they are not game number 1. Game number 1 is the Dynasty game. So we call it game number 1 because it's the first one that gets situated. It's the first one to get handled. When we roll over, the first thing we do is roll over these Dynasty leagues. So this year we had a very spectacular event because, we talk about it sparingly. We really don't care, but we pissed off a lot of people last year. That's their prerogative. We keep moving. But they staged a coup. We had 2 guys leave 16 orphans by themselves between the 2 of them. And then they had friends that came into the games with them who used to love Ballsville too. You got your friends back. They left. Overall, they left about 35 orphans combined. Then we had another 10 that were, vacated by Ballsville players naturally. So we started this year off with 45 orphans out of our 32 Dynasty leagues. Very dramatic. It was designed to set us on fire. And instead, it really just did the opposite. It took us 3 days with players like this. So this is a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to see unless you're on a big screen. This is 9 of the leagues out of the 32. This is how I keep spreadsheets. You see a little new icon next to somebody's name. That's a person who took over an orphan. Up top in the middle, you'll see JoJo at number 3 of Goku. His name is highlighted. He came in as a rebuild. A rebuild takes the year to rebuild. They cannot win money. If they win a cash prize, they get their dues paid, and the rest of that money goes up for next year for that league to play for. Now, Ballsville has a lot of opportunities to hold on to some of the funds that overlap here. We don't do that. What we do is we create mini games. So out of these 45 people that left, they left without a word. They left without a compromise. They forfeit their dues. It's part of our bylaw. So we're talking about $25 from 45 players. Occasionally, somebody may have sold, their draft picks and the team is in shambles. We offer that roster half price. When that happens, somebody comes, they pay $25 and they're ready to compete right away if they can turn their team around. It has happened. But under normal circumstances, it's $25 for the rebuild, $50 for the full buy-in. If somebody buys in $50 into a spot where somebody already forfeited those dues, that creates a surplus of $25. The first $25 gets put up in a mini game for your league. So in an instance like Nick, you're doing the startup in Blue Eyes. Mm-hmm. That league particularly had a group of 7 players all hold hands and jump out of the league within the same minute all together. I don't know how they staged that, but they did. So we're talking about $175 that was abandoned, left on the table. That league, the remaining participants decided they would rather re-roll the league. So the returning players paid in an extra $25 to equal 50 in the pot, and new people came in, paid in 50. That's why we're in a Dynasty startup. So out of that 175, we have $125 that's going to stay with that league. It's a $50 mini game and $75 to boost their payouts. They're going to vote on how they want that boosted, or maybe they want like a weekly high score. The league gets to decide with that money that they have in their account. The other 50 goes to the Ballsville game. If you're a part of Ghidorah, that is also in a reroll, but that is not because of the orphan situation. That is because of an Empire win by our own Steb. Steb 20, who won here, won silver on the right side of the podium for the Dragons. He was on the podium last year as a bronze. You make the podium 2 years in a row. That's an Empire win. Your league resets. Everybody buys in again. I told you guys this information is going to come in hot. So because he had an Empire win, everybody has to buy in. Now, in that circumstance, we had 3 people who took over orphans last year. Their dues are protected because they were not part of the original year when he made the podium the first time. That's $60 that comes out of the Ballsville budget. So in one league, we have an instance where Ballsville's collecting $50 due to the massive amount of surplus. But on the other hand, we're also paying $60 to protect your dues if you take over an orphan, because it's not your fault somebody made the podium last year. So if you take over an orphan in one of these leagues, and the sheets are in the league, we'll pin out, this person won gold is in the podium. It's not on this image per se. But these are your podiums. And if these people make it next year, that league resets. Same practice. We protect those dues. You can exit if you want, or you can pay the $50 to get back in for the reroll. So heroes on the left, dragons on the right. These images, if you want to go and check them out in depth, you can do so on the website. It covers your champions, your runner-up, your third place, and then you see a little money bag like over Freeman C right here. That money bag represents the wager winner. So we had two people who scored higher than him and won championship and runner-up, but they did not wager. So because they didn't wager, Freeman C here in third place took the wager pot, which I think was $750 here, plus his league winnings and the third place prize for a total of $925 this year. Guys, this is a $25 annual commitment. Everybody in the league gets paid out something. If you make the finals, you get a little coin, $50 to play with, to wager, or to keep. That would be your second place prize if you decide to keep it. So same thing with the dragons on the right. Zach Wilson fan, the bronze place, was the only one that wagered. So his point total of 190.12 won him $1,125. So big money to be had. Here's some more trophies. We have the champion. We have the wager winner, represented by the little thief, and the same on the right side. The money bag is the wager winner. The cup is the champion. You can also see player quotes. Bagney says, "Run it back." C. Sims over here says, "Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing." So Nick, I'm going to ask you, because you're now in Blue Eyes and you've taken over a couple of orphans during the season, but this is your first real Dynasty startup, and it's kind of a process that we do in Ballsville with the reverse order. 28 picks hold your rookie picks, so you can trade with them during the draft. A lot of flexibility for team building. You want to give us a little insight on how you like these leagues so far?
Yeah, I like these leagues so far. I mean, like I said earlier, there's pros and cons of an early draft. It fosters league activity. Con could be, you could draft somebody and they get hurt. But I think it's pretty nice. It's nice having separate drafts for rookies. If it's a reverse order, so if you get the 1.1 in the startup, you get the 1.12 in the rookie draft. And you could always trade those if your league allows it. They'll be 2028 picks, and then once the draft order is actually set for rookies, once the vet draft's done, then you'll just have to go in and manually trade that. But I think it's pretty cool. You could invest hard in vets. You could also invest hard in rookies.
Yeah, well said. So we have a couple of comments that are real factual. Rebuilding is life. That's how I feel. So one of the things I look forward to every year is I have a number of Dynasty leagues, and I can't wait for somebody to underperform and have some bad luck so I can start selling off pieces, because it's one less league that I have to manage. And when you're doing a rebuild and you get to sell off these pieces, you get to shop them out individually. That's when I'm at my most active, is when I have a crappy team, ironically. So I agree with that. And Zach McClintock here says everybody loves a good orphan, which I agree with as well. And more facts. You got to risk it for the biscuit. It's called Ballsville for a reason, right?
Yep.
So to wrap up the Dynasty talk, we ended up with 14 mini games. So that's at least 25. In some cases, that's 50 for a mini game. That's going to be a side game of best ball. For the 25 ones, we play a game of best ball, and if you win, you don't have to pay your dues next year. Or, if you're working out an exit, you take your 25 and bolt. We try to facilitate that. We're not trying to hold your money hostage. If you have some extenuating circumstance, we'll help you compromise. And if we get removed from the game, you don't forfeit dues. If we want to kick you out, we refund you. That has happened. That's what the budget's for. So stepping out of game one, going into game two, the mini leagues that you see here on the screen, Chris, we'll turn it over to you because I know you're like drooling, waiting for these mini leagues to start up, man. Tell us what you like about them and maybe mention your free entries here.
Okay, so the entries these are cheap, $4. Like, who doesn't have $4? And you get that basically the research you get from finding out where these players are going is valuable. It's $4 valuable to me to see how everybody's thinking early on. We get a bunch of these, right? 40 leagues in the mini leagues. They start drafting right away the weekend of the Super Bowl. I was entered into one. That's how I got into Ballsville this year, was one mini league game, and it just happened to be right at the end of the 40 that they were putting out there. I ended up winning that one league, and I'm like, hey, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. If I can, 8x my money just in one league, just imagine what I could do in 40 of them. So that's my plan for this one. You get deep rosters. I think you said, Alex, 26 rounds. So
I believe it's 26 rounds, and these are 12-team leagues. The big game is 10 teams. This is 12-team league, so we get deep.
Yeah. So draft. Do your research. Get in there. Try to take advantage of the timing, and hope that things pan out for you, because you never know what's going to happen between now and the beginning of the season, anyways. So you got $4 to spend. I mean, geesh. That's entertainment enough for me. So just
the $4. The $4 is a great topic because Zach in the chat says like a Wendy's 4 for $4, and I think to myself, well, hold on now, because don't compare us to a 4 for $4. That's a legit meal right there.
And not only that, but you can only imagine what that $4 can get you, because the mini league winner this year brought home what was it, $760
right there.
Off of $4. I mean, come on.
That's 190x.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
I think.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest multiplier. Is the 190. Ethan, did you catch any of these last year?
No, I came right when the Gauntlet game was kicking off, but plan to get into almost all of them this year, if possible. If everybody doesn't beat me too, I plan on getting into all of them.
Well, you'll be surprised, guys, because the best ball. So the reason why I love best ball is because I'm a big Dynasty nerd. That's my number one, is Dynasty. I love Dynasty. I love all the strategies, all the routes you can take in team building. If you're patient, like I tend to be, it works out great. Now, sometimes you have rebuild years and there's not a lot of action there. And you can't just start up a Dynasty league every year. You're going to drown. That's where best ball comes in, because we have 40 of these. We have 96 of the big game drafts. That's a lot of best ball. You can draft these as much as you want. If you're somebody like Todd Barber or like Cheeky, they like to buy for a whole division. They'll buy all 8 of the big game, and they take a spot in each of them, which we welcome, and then we fill it in with new players on the backside if we can. But as soon as these open, our players are going to be soaking up these spots. So make sure you're there when they drop. Yeah, like Chris said, $4 entry, $760 payout. His quote, Mr. Mini Machine 922, thanks for running this league and all other leagues. So that is our champion for the mini leagues. You see the divisions: Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Told you we were nerds. The Gauntlet game. Chris, I'm going to let you talk about the Gauntlet game and what you thought about this year, because it was quite an event.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited for the next year because it'll be a little different, but this year was definitely fun. I was in all 12 of the leagues that I could get into. I know Ethan was too. It was real fun. I think I paid more attention to the Gauntlet game than any other leagues that I was in all year, just because I didn't want to fall behind because at the first start when the season was going on, you get into the mode where you fall you fall behind and you're gonna end up missing out on bonuses that happen during the year. You just got to stay engaged, and you can come out on top because Ethan came out on top, I came out on top, JoJo came out on top, TB76 came out on top. So yeah, that was quite the interesting year, and I cannot wait for the next version of this game.
You touched on a lot of cool topics there. I like that you mentioned the winners. We do have a list of winners, and those names are going to be popping off a little later. You can see here our Gauntlet champion for 2025 was JoJo. He took home a total prize of $1,203. The 3 is because everything was in threes for that game. Week 17 points, 219, which was one of the high scores of Week 17. So congrats to JoJo, who was the champion and won the wagers. And his player quote, if you didn't see the beginning intro video, is the Ricky Bobby acceptance speech there. So you scan that QR code. We couldn't get all that text on there, Joey, but we put it in a QR code for the players that want to go and see what you had to say about winning this money. Before we get out of the Gauntlet game, Chris was our manager, but so was Ethan. Ethan, can you do your best to summarize the stages of how the game is played for anybody who didn't get into the game to play the 3 ways, that we play the league? Can you do your best to kind of put that in a nutshell and describe how that process goes?
Oh yeah, of course. So for anybody who didn't play, or if anybody who is new and is seeing this now and didn't get in the previous year, Chris hit it pretty much spot on. I was in a lot of leagues, a lot of different types of leagues, but this whole game had my whole attention. Like I love the Gauntlet leagues, just trading players for fab, whatever the case may be. But the game worked like this. You're in 12-man leagues, weeks 1 through 8. You play against a different opponent each week. So every top seed, I believe that every top seed got a bonus of $30. So if you finished as the 1 seed, you got pretty much your entry fee back, and that's just a start. Because you're not even you haven't even made the guillotine portion in the playoffs. So that was a nice little, gig if you got the first seed. And for every week, the guillotine portion you had 3 legions, which were Egyptians, Romans, and cannot remember
Greeks.
I'm blanking right now. They also got a pretty big payout for having the most PF scored. So there's different strategies to play the Gauntlet game. With our game, we could trade players for fab and vice versa. And my prediction at the beginning of the year of me doing both, I was trading players for fab and fab for players, was that my team and the others' teams would get better. It wasn't collusion because, it was just different strategies. And if it was collusion, why would I be doing players for fab and fab for players? I'm just trying out different strategies with different teams, just seeing how it'll play out. And it worked. It worked great. So all
did you like one better?
Do I know, Alex?
Did you like one better? Did you like the ones where you acquired players or the ones where you acquired fab? Which ones did better for you?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I'm gonna say I enjoyed the ones where I acquired players more, because the one I acquired fab in, I had a superstar team and I was still out of guillotine week 1 because Jonathan Taylor couldn't outscore Amari DeMarcado on the Cardinals. And I was just like, well, maybe the player strategy did work more. But no, I had a fab team that worked out pretty good too. So it's really hard to say. I like both of them, but all 12 teams made the guillotine portions for weeks 9 through 12. Each the bottom team was cut each week in scoring per league. So if you were the bottom team in scoring, that sucked. But if you made it, your prizes increased, or your chances of winning increased. And then you got thrown into the bracket where you got head to head against everybody. And all you had to do then was just beat your matchup, and you just keep advancing in the bracket, winning more prizes. And at each round you advanced in, you doubled your money, tripled your money, quadrupled your money. Pretty much, it was stackable payouts. This game was a great game, and no matter how the game changes next year, I'll be glad to be a manager of it and glad to definitely participate in all that I can.
Absolutely. No, well said. And my personal favorite part about this game is that you play the first 8 weeks as redraft, like Ethan was saying, and it feels like a regular league. Now during this time, you usually start getting people that check out because the team's not doing as well as they thought, or you get people that are like giving up paths to the playoffs because they checked out. But in this game, it mitigates all that because you start playing against a field during the guillotine portion. So for us managers, it gets a little bit very interactive during those weeks. And then as that activity starts to die down, because once we enter the bracket portion, we literally lose half of our player pool each week. So as we manage less and less and less numbers, we start going into our actual fantasy football playoffs. So the work peaks during the dead season, and then it dies down as the activity picks up for our other games. It's something that we kind of did anticipate at the beginning of the season, but it still went a lot better than we thought. So the Gauntlet game 2026 is going to see some revisions, but a lot of it's going to feel the same. And in our opinion, it's going to be a lot cooler.
And I'll just add one thing. You don't necessarily need to be just like obsessed with your record. I mean, the guillotine, you definitely don't want to be last, but I actually had a team that won me some money, like $50 or something. It wasn't huge, but my record was 4-24.
Yeah, no, 4-20. It's always going to be the 420 team.
Yeah,
the 420.
See, I'm glad you said that, because the beauty of this community is that we all know what he's talking about. The four of us are in the Discord pretty much daily, and we chat, and so we know the infamous 420 team. Now, he keeps trying to tell you it's 4-24, but it's not. And I have the power to go change it, so it'll always be 420, right?
Yep.
Okay, coming out of the Gauntlet game, congratulations again to Joey, you big, hairy American winning machine, for the quote. We'll go to the redraft game. We'll breeze past this. Just kidding. This one holds our 2025 Player of the Year. If you remember in 2024, it was Connor who put together a very successful season. He kind of dominated in all. It was 4 games for 2024, and he dominated in all 4. He won a lot of best ball, a lot of redraft, and a lot of dynasty. Very deserving. That one was very obvious. This one a little bit less obvious. We'll go over some of the high scores and candidates for this award, but due to the fact that Mr. Grizz Tony here was not bought into too many redraft games and still walked away with the grand prize, a new record of $3,350 for his one redraft entry. Spectacular. That is a $50 league, guys. You can see here he is a champion and the wager winner. This is at a number 5 Epsilon. The beauty of our game is that you can go to that league. It is open. You can go verify it. See the scoring settings, trades, make sure everything's on the up and up. But congrats to Grizz Tony for being this year's Player of the Year. And the player quote is familiar. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. We saw that quote earlier, but this Grizz Tony quote includes that it's Vince Lombardi's quote. So congrats to you. He's in the chat here. He said, I had 6 ships outside of Ballsville, 4 seconds, and 8 third-place finishes this season. So overall successful, Tony. Good job. I hope you would have ended that with this one means the most, because we like to believe it does. So congratulations. And we have one more game to talk about. I'm going to let Nick go ahead and tell us the winner of the big game.
So, yeah, the winner of the big game is our El Presidente, Alex. And just to reiterate, there are a total of 96 leagues. So it's I believe it's Alex's first time. Isn't that right, winning this?
Yeah. It took me 5 years to get here, so it's a nice one.
Yeah. And $7 entry, $950 payout. His week 17 points is 221.98. Sounds like a pretty stacked roster, but yeah, this one's pretty fun. I was in a couple of them this year. Best ball. Normally I'm a redraft dynasty guy, but I do like best ball occasionally just because you draft a team and you don't really have to worry about it. So it's pretty simple.
So the big game is our bread and butter. 5 years ago when we started, well, 6 years ago when we started, it was just the big game. It was only one division. It was 8 leagues, and we just kind of came together in the end and played. The next year we expanded to 16, but we did that in like a matter of a month. So then we expanded to 32 again that year, then 64 the next year, and then now we're up to 96 leagues. That's 12 divisions of 8. The beauty of this game, so I did walk away with the championship. We had 2 people in week 17 who were division winners that decided not to wager and not play the game. They took their money and exit, a couple hundreds. But the odds for me were 1 out of 10. I won this on the back of Bijan and CMC. I barely beat John Legs, who won the side pots. I barely beat him. And I actually fell asleep and woke up the next morning to CMC and his, what was like 38 points or something ridiculous, or 26, I think he scored, but pulled it off. So I'm grateful. But my odds to win were 1 of 10 to win the league, 1 of 5 to win my division in week 16, and then 1 of 10 to win the championship. So you can't beat it, guys. That's the way we play the game. That wraps up our individual games and our champions. A shout out to these players. This is a quick look at the biggest earners of our game. We see Joey up top during the gauntlet game with 1,203. DJ and Ethan right below him with 896. That's after losing 100 to wagers. Todd Barber banked $801. Now, that's remarkable for Todd because this isn't a big ticket win. This is a guy who just happened to win a lot of the leagues that he was in. So 801 there. Grizz Tony won 80 from that game. Chris, sorry for cussing, 496. Going over to redraft, we had Todd Barber again, who was not the winner, who still won $900. Grizz Tony, our record-breaking 3350. Sorry for cussing, 150 there. JoJo, 350 from there. Todd Barber took 150 through Dynasty. The mini leagues, Mean Machine, it's supposed to be 760. It says 730. Myself, sorry for cussing. I lead the big game with 960. That's total. Sorry for cussing, 470 from that. JoJo 170, Todd Barber 150, Grizz Tony another 100. Overall, we had Grizz Tony with the most payouts this year with a total of 3,530. Todd Barber with a payout of $2,001. JoJo with 1,725. And then we had sorry for cussing here, and his number is 1,141. But Chris, you also won the DFS game that we had this year with JoJo. That's JoJo's gig. And that was what, $1,160, I think.
Yep.
And then another 350 from our manager's ball, which we call the brass balls. I won like $50. You won like 300 plus a $50 entry and stuff. That's pretty sick. So overall, Chris's total would bump him up to second place at $2,751. So it's good to see our friends win big. We had a lot of other winners, and that is going to wrap up our Ballsville game talk. Now we get into a very special moment here, guys. This is year 6 for Ballsville, and talking about game number 6 is going to be the guys running the game. That's Mr. Sorry for Cussing here and Mr. DJ and Ethan, who are going to be the 2 Game 6 managers. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about Game 6 and what it's going to be, Chris?
So I've got the sheet right in front of me. So I'm just going to read from this for everybody to hear. We're calling this game the Highlander game. Each league will consist of 18 teams. Each week, the lowest scoring team will be eliminated and their season will be over. The eliminated team's roster will then go to the waiver wire, where they'll be available for pickup via waivers and free agency. This process will continue throughout the entirety of the season. Survive the blade each week. There can only be one. The draft will be a slow snake draft consisting of 12 rounds. There will be no trading whatsoever. The draft will be the rosters will increase over the span of the season. Initially, it will consist of 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and 5 bench. What makes this different is that after each incremental part of the season, your roster size will increase. So after week 3, the league manager will add a wide receiver and 2 bench to each roster. After week 6, the league manager will add a flex and 2 bench to each roster. After week 9, the league manager will add a super flex and 2 bench to the roster. And after week 12, the league manager will add a running back, a tight end, and 2 bench to each roster. This is a best ball league. So from the beginning of the league to the end of the league, it's all best ball with weekly waivers.
With waivers, which is something that we don't have in any game. So that's going to be unique to the Highlander game, is that it's best ball with waivers.
Waivers will run through the entirety of the season, and Sundays will be open free agency. We will use Ballsville scoring for all leagues. Once Saturday is over, they'll turn to open free agency on Sundays. So I know people had concern with not being able to pick up players on Sundays. This will alleviate that. Each team will be allocated $200 fab at the conclusion of the draft and will not reset at any point of time during the season. That's pretty much how it's going to go for that. So I'm excited. I cannot wait. Any questions?
Yeah, well, one thing that I know we talked about that we didn't put down on paper is that what we're going to do, guys, because this game is going to be so unique, we're going to open up the leagues and the league safe. We're going to let you come in and you're going to buy in, but we're going to hold all drafts to hug up. We'll decide on the date. Chris will discuss when exactly, but we're going to hold them off closer to the season just to get everybody a fair shot at avoiding those injuries that we talked about.
Absolutely.
They want to know what the buy-in is, Chris.
The buy-in will be $25. And we will also have a wagering system. So at the end, I will read this off to you too. So at the conclusion of week 15, there will be 3 players remaining in each league. Each remaining player will have won $50 at this point in time, and they will have the choice of either wagering against each other player in their own league or banking that $50 for that week. After that week, you'll have 2 left in each league. At the conclusion of week 16, each league will have 2 players remaining. Each remaining player will have won another $50. Each remaining player will have the choice of banking or wagering that $100 versus all remaining players in the game. So 10 leagues with the choice of wagering will be up to 20 players. So you could be wagering against 19 others, and top scorer would get the wagering in that. So big opportunity for big money if everybody were to wager. And the grand champion would also win $500 on top of their own league winnings. So you definitely have a big chance to win some good money here.
And the best part about it, guys, is because it's guillotine. If you have a shitty draft, you're probably going to be out of it early enough where you can spread your focus elsewhere if it's needed. For $25, come see how you do. There will be waivers. So it is a managing team, but you don't have to set your lineup because of the best ball portion. I think it's going to be a great way to introduce some of this fun into our lives without taking over all of our time with other games. All right, we're over the hour mark, guys. We're going to speed up a little bit through the other things. Special shout out to these iBots. These are the bots that are going to represent Chris and Ethan. We'll get more into this and more into the game on future episodes. We promised it. We're going to do it a little bit of this.
Trade Talk. Ballsville is
Excellent.
Yeah, we fixed that so it doesn't burn your ears off. So here we go. Trade talk. Coming out of Heroes, Goku, League 1 of 16. We have JoJo taking away Drake May and Tucker Kraft and paying the price of Marvin Harrison, Jackson Dart, and the 103. It's got Dart in it. How could I not go to Chris first? Chris, tell us what you think about this trade and what side you like.
I might be a little biased, but I just think that Harbaugh going to the Giants is just going to unleash something special with Dart eventually. And he's getting an extra first-round draft pick on this. I think Dart side wins this, and it's not even really that close to me.
Okay, Nick, I'm going to ask you a question of Marvin Harrison versus Tucker Kraft. How far apart do you think the value is on those two players?
I don't think it's that far apart. I actually think Marv is a little bit better in my opinion. I really like Tucker Kraft. I think I have a little differing opinion than Chris. I think this is super close. I love Drake May and I love Kraft, but I'm kind of leaning the Dart side just because you get Marv, which I think Marv's still good. I mean, he's just had not a very good quarterback to throw from, and Jackson Dart's very promising, and the 1.03 is pretty nice right there. I would probably grab Mekhi Lemon. That's just me, but there's three terrific receivers to choose from who I believe will be there: Tyson, Tate, and Lemon. So I'm leaning that side.
We'll leave the comments up, guys. You guys can throw out who you think wins this trade as we go along. Ethan, what do you think the difference is between Drake May and Jackson Dart, who I believe averaged like 17, 18 points in all of his starts this year? What's the difference, and what side do you like on this trade?
Dynasty wise, it's just hard to put Drake May under a top 3 quarterback right now. I think Drake May is 1 or 2, but I mean, this is honestly a great trade. I mean, it just is. I mean, I don't even like this is something I would need to kind of analyze. That 103 is worth a lot. Jackson Dart is still an elite quarterback. To me, Jackson Dart is still top 10. And then, I mean, to me, it's just more of a question if, Marv ends up panning out ever or not. I mean, a lot of people are low as ever on Marv. And some people still believe in him. Some people still think he's an alpha receiver in Arizona. I think that ship has sailed, honestly. I think it's honestly an even trade. I don't know what side I'd even pick. Tucker Kraft is a great asset. I mean, it's fairly even in my opinion. There's something about that 103 that just hollers at me though, even though I just said Drake May is a top 2 dynasty quarterback. So I mean, it's just hard to say really. It's even to me.
Well, it seems like everybody's taking the Brady side. I will have to agree. I think if you took out Marvin Harrison and you put somebody like Zay Flowers in there, it's a little bit more even. But I think with the potential that Marvin Harrison still has, even though it hasn't panned out, we don't know if that's injury. I think that the potential there and the upside of that 103 is going to do more to bridge the gap between Dart and Drake May. I think both of those guys are going to be top 2 startup picks, top 2 rounds. And Tucker Kraft with the injury, even though he performed this year, I don't see his value being up there in the top echelon in startups. So I think it's unanimous. We all take the Brady side here. Let's move on. The next one we have here is coming out of Tsunami. That's number 12 out of the Dragons. We have Themis Popov, who just joined the hub, and hopefully you tune in. He's getting Jamar Chase. The price he pays to Jimmy Wojo is a quarterback, Jordan Love, Jamison Williams, and the 110. Nick, I'm going to come to you first. Who do you think is going to be there at the end of the first round, and how do you see this trade playing out?
I probably at the end of the first round. I mean, I would probably, I don't know, if you need a tight end, I would go Stowers. Probably, you could be eyeing some other people, but they might be reaches like, Brazel might be there, Nicholas Singleton. But I actually don't hate this trade just because I know Jamar Chase. I mean, he's a league winner for sure. But he's also, I mean, he's not getting any older. He's not a young, he's not an old receiver by any means, but he's, I mean, he's definitely getting older. So I would probably go the love side. I think Jamison Williams on top of that, 110. I think that moves the needle for me, and Jordan Love. If you're a guy who likes to wheel and deal, I mean, you could always flip assets when you get them. I mean, a lot of people see trades and they are like, oh, I'm stuck with these guys once I get them. But I like to think of ROI. If I don't like a player that I'm getting, I'm not necessarily not making the deal. I could always make the deal and then flip them later. So give me that side.
Okay, I dig that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do not believe that Chris is a fan of Jordan Love. Chris, am I correct in assuming that? And who do you have winning this trade?
I mean, I see all these assets for Jimmy Wojo here just being secondary to me. You can throw a bunch of crap together, and it's still not gonna move the needle as much as adding Chase will to your team. I just think you can't make up that difference with three players that are not championship building players, in my opinion. I mean, if you need the depth because you need someone to throw in. So if you only had two quarterbacks on your roster and that makes your third, I mean, that makes sense. Williams is a big drop off from Chase. I mean, not to the point where it's going to devastate you every week, but Chase is a known commodity to be a championship winner. So, yeah, I just don't see the 110 putting someone above Love and Williams on that. I still think those two are the best two in the trade for Wojo's side. But, yeah, Chase is my side for sure.
I do like the fact that he got a quarterback back. That's one of the things I look for. If you're a quarterback needy, how do you get a quarterback in a trade like this where you're jumping down from Chase to Jamison Williams? It's a long jump. I mean, I think I'd rather have Marvin Harrison than Jamison Williams in Dynasty right now. Ethan, what do you think about this trade, and do you agree with what the guy said?
For the most part, I do. I mean, I can understand, like you said, if you're quarterback needy and, you kind of need to get this trade off. And let's make one thing clear. I'm not a big fan of Chase at all. I'm really not. But, I mean, to me, Jordan Love is a mid-level quarterback, dynasty-wise. Jamison Williams is a mid-level wide receiver to me. That 110 is a hit or miss. You don't know. I mean, in a league with a lot of depth, I would like that side. But, I mean, to me, like I said, it's just three somewhat mid-level pieces for Jamar Chase. I think, unfortunately, I would have to take that Jamar Chase side.
I agree. I think it's best said in chat here. 4 quarters never equal $1 to me. That's so true. That's how I gauge these trades. Chase is $1 here. Jordan Love, I think, is anywhere between a quarter to 2 quarters, depending on how the season goes for him. I know he dealt with injury this year, but he never quite delivers what you expect him to, even in easy matchups. It's not guaranteed. And I think the other 2 pieces are quarters, if not dimes, and Jamar Chase is by far the better value here. So I think we all take Chase in this one. Congrats to Themis Popov. Sorry, Jimmy Wojo. Hopefully you learn from this experience. Shame on you. You're not watching anyways. The next trade, here we have Marvin Harrison again. This is out of Toothless, number 7 of the Dragons. It's Marvin Harrison, Dallas Goedert, and the 303 for Harold Fanning and the 205. Now, this has draft packs to get into. Ethan, are you up on the rookies this year? Have you done your research yet?
No, not like I should be doing. No, not like that.
Okay, so at first glance, without knowing who these picks would be assigned to, who do you have winning this trade here?
This is just like I said earlier. This is a buy low case on Marvin Harrison. This is a non-believer on Marvin Harrison, trading him away. This is where I'm going to take the Marvin Harrison side, even if Marvin Harrison is just turns out he doesn't end up a star. Just a decent receiver you can plug and play as a low end receiver 3 or whatever the case may be. To me, I mean, I'd obviously rather have Fannin than Goddard, but to me, the jump off is not that crazy, and I don't think Goddard's role is being diminished in any way. And the draft picks aren't that far apart either. So I mean, this is really, I mean, to me, how you view Marvin Harrison. And I think honestly, like I seen a comment. I mean, it's too early to tell really what Marvin Harrison's career is going to be, even though, I've kind of felt falling off of Marvin Harrison myself. Like I'm kind of, on the side of non-believing, but these athletes can turn it around, man, with new coaching and new OC. I mean, Brissett was the fill-in starter this year. I mean, you don't know with this Cardinals team. I'd like to think Marv can still be a top 25, 30 dynasty wide receiver at the least this year. So give me that Jay Morris side on buying Marvin Harrison low.
Cool. Yeah, I hope you're happy to hear that. All right, guys, we're about 10 minutes away from the 90-minute mark. Let's just go ahead and go. We'll go to Chris and then Nick. Just give us a quick which side you're taking. Let's leave out the reason why.
I'd really love to give the reason why, but I'll take the Harrison and Goddard side.
I mean, you can go ahead. Just be quick about it. We got,
so
2 more to
the
get
thing that concerns me is Philadelphia is probably going to be looking a lot different soon because I think A.J. Brown is going to be gone. So that means more targets for Goddard. He still has a few years left in the tank. Fannin is great, but if Harrison has a good comeback too, that's just more than what Fannin and the 205 is worth for me on that side.
I agree with that exactly, actually. That would be my takeaway. What about you, Nick? Which side?
I'll go quickly for this. I actually lean the Fannin side. Fannin's got huge upside. It's unsure whether Njoku is going to stay in there or not. And the 2.05, I actually really like this. You could either get Chris Brazzell, wide receiver from Tennessee, Katron Allen, Penn State, running back who exploded this year. Another good one is Surratt, the receiver from Indiana, and you could watch him play on Monday. I think he'll light it up.
Right now, I think a lot of these draft picks are underappreciated because we don't have players assigned to this. I think once rookie fever hits around the combine, you're going to get a lot more for these 205s and maybe even the 3rd round draft picks. Mm-hmm. But right now, all you've heard from all these analysts is that this is a weak draft class. But they say that every year, and every year we get surprised. Mm-hmm. All right, over here we have a 2-4. This is going to be a double slide. Trade 1, we have N. Greer, 13, getting Chuba Hubbard in the 106. He's giving Brady R.J. Harvey and the 312. That one alone, let's just go around the horn real quick. Chris, who do you have winning that trade?
Man. Harvey side, but it's close.
Nick?
NG Ranger, it's close though too.
What about you, Ethan?
Right as of right now, yeah, that's the Harvey side, but it is very close.
I will take the Harvey side. I think the 6 can be a hit and miss, and I think RJ Harvey is going to be a hit, although he is one of the older, sophomores going into next year. The second trade is also N.R. Greer. He's got the 111 and the 205, and he's giving up Tyler Show and Devin Neal to get that. We'll go to you, Nick. What side do you like?
I actually like the New Orleans side. I mean, it's essentially Breeze, Kamara. I mean, those are the new studs with Show and Neal. So give me that side.
Okay. What about you, Chris? You agree with that?
Yeah, Kamara's on his way out. Neal's next in line. I think Miller's always hurt. So let me get the Show side.
I will say Devin Neal had 2 opportunities this season to take the helm and get most of the work, and he got hurt both times. So, Ethan, what about you? You want the picks or you want the players in that one?
Yeah, sorry, N.R. Greer. I think Show is there to stay, and I think Neal is going to lead that backfield. Give me that Saints duo. I think for a pretty good bargain.
Yep. I have to agree. I will take the players over the picks because those picks, you're going to hope you get a starting quarterback, and Tyler Show already is one. So between both of these trades, you see N. Greer get Chuba, the 106, the 111, and the 205. and he gave up Tyler Show, RJ Harvey, Devin Neal, and the 312. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is not exactly how I would choose to build. I'd rather have Show than kind of these other assets. Nick, would you rather have Tyler Show or the 106?
I would probably rather have the 1.6. I mean, Show, it's very close. But yeah, I just don't. I mean, New Orleans is good. I just don't really trust consistency there.
Chris, do you think Ngrier did a good job, or how would you grade his trade process here?
Well, I'll take it a little different there. I'd say, to me, we haven't seen enough of Harvey, but we know that could change and he can be more involved. I think Harvey has the potential to be worth that 1.6. Joe is already worth the 111. Cuba's gonna be on his last try, I believe, if he hasn't already had his last try at RB1. So I still think what he gave away was too much for his return.
Do you agree, Ethan? Do you like his moves, or would you rather get your players back?
I will say, like, it just depends. I feel like I've already got some draft picks. I'll personally try to get more and like just fully build a young team from the ground, I guess, kind of deal. But I mean, overall, I'd rather have the other side. I'd give this trade like a C-. But like you said earlier, Alex, I mean, the draft picks can possibly outperform their expectations, even though we don't know who these players are going to be yet at these positions. I mean, at these draft picks. They can be a lot better than what's on the right side. I mean, there's potential there. That's why I'm not giving it an automatic L. But as of right now, as of this podcast right here, I'd much rather have the right side.
Okay, excellent. I agree totally. I'd rather have the players, a little bit more security, even in a rebuild. These are young players we're talking about. Harvey's a little older for a running back, but he's still in that rookie deal, so you can kind of guarantee he's going to be there at least another few years. This is going to do it for our trade talk, except we do have one more that I'm going to let Nick say it, and then you can just kind of ask the guys what they think about it, Nick, and I'm going to get set up for the raffle here. So here's your trade.
So yeah, this is a non-Ballsville one. I just saw this come in, and it's not terrible. However, I do think it's selling McCarthy on the low. I mean, 2.10, 3.05 rookie picks. Those are kind of like shots in the dark. I mean, pretty late picks, and you get a quarterback one. So I could see why it was done, but what do you guys think?
I don't think that's a quarterback one. I think he's going to be replaced this offseason.
No, I think he's going to prove everybody wrong, and I think that somebody's got JJ McCarthy for a steal. JJ McCarthy is about to light the world on fire.
So the word out of Minnesota that I heard, I think it was on FFT Fantasy Football Today. If you don't watch Adam Azer, he's one of my favorite podcast hosts. So, but they said that they're already talking about an open competition for the quarterback job over there, which doesn't really shine a bright light on JJ McCarthy. However, the question remains, who? Who's going to come and put up a fight for that job? We expect Jameis, or maybe they get like Mac Jones over there. I mean, that could be a problem. But other than that scenario, I don't see anybody coming into Minnie and taking McCarthy off of that seat. I think they kind of have to give him another shot. And I think it's just growing pains. It's not every quarterback that comes out and is a stud year one. So
yeah,
if I have them.
I think what makes it weary for me is it's a risk reward type thing. I mean, the picks could pan out. You could pick some gems.
Yes.
Let's not forget Puka Nacua was drafted in like the 3rd, 4th rounds, and he is now amazing. But also on the other end, I mean, McCarthy could turn into the next, let's say Patrick Mahomes, but he could also turn into the next Carson Wentz. I mean, minus the season he had in Philadelphia, but you see what I mean.
So what if I told you last year, Nick, that you would be sitting here talking about Tyler Show being a 1.06 value and McCarthy being going for a 2nd and a 3rd? I mean, what a world we live in with this NFL. Huh?
I know. Yep, that's fantasy football in a nutshell.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and tuck that away, guys. We're at the 90-minute mark, and it is time to raffle and get up out of this one. I'm gonna go ahead and share screen again one more time. Make sure you're over here looking at the new website. We got a lot of cool stuff. Sticky just dropped the ADP tool, and when we get our drafts underway, you're gonna be able to come over here and see what you guys and your community are taking players at what spot. Or if you're like me and Nick and you're in a draft already, looking at round 3 of the startup, this is what we wanted to point out. Drake May, the 102 overall. Josh Allen, then Drake May. Now, it seems like a hefty price. Todd took him, and Todd said, oh, man, I think I reached too far for Drake May. And then about 3 or 4 other people in that first said, damn, he went off the board. I was going to take him with my first pick. So, too early to believe sleeper ADP. You're gonna have to make your own decisions here. But this is your data that we take and we produce, on the tools on the website. So make sure you're over there checking that out. Last chance to leave a comment, guys. We have 13 entries. There's quite a few of you in here at one point. I think like maybe 20 of you cycling in and out. So go ahead and say freebie one more time. We have 2 giveaways to do. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to give away 3, okay? Chris is giving away 2, so we're going to roll those right now. After this ends, because we have people like Joey who can't Joey, you're a good dad, but you can't make the podcast because of those little rugrats, but we forgive you because you're a good dad. So for guys like you that can't watch it live, afterwards, leave us a comment in the chat, or if you're watching live anyways, leave us a comment once this video is posted. Everybody that comments, we're going to put your name up here on the Wheel of Names, and you're going to get your own drawing. That's going to be a +1 free entry. That's going to be from Ballsville. But for right now, 13 entries. Good luck. This is from Chris. Here we go. So number 1. Sarah's good at the music. I don't have the musical thing. K-Doggy Dog. He's a frequent winner. And look, he came in literally right now.
Did he win last week?
Yeah,
I believe so. And by the way, guys, so these are for the mini leagues. We're at the point now that all the dynasties died down where I will be coming to your DMs. I have a list of all the free entry winners. So if you want something and you don't get a ticket by next week on the show, we'll remind you then. But at that point, send us a DM, because in late October and pretty much all through November, there's a lot of chaos. And I wrote them down in a different document, and I can't find that document. So there's at least 4 free winners that I didn't mark down. And if you're one of them, let us know. We'll verify and we'll come bring it to you. Congrats, K-Dog. We have 1 more to go. Good luck, guys. And it is, there's some cool images here. Nick!
Finally won one. Let's
Look
go.
at that. Yeah, you finally won one. So that's Mr. K-Dog and Mr. Nick. I'm going to add you guys to the list. I thought this was a great show. It's been a while since we were able to get out here. It's been an off season since we did the Ballsville pod, but we'll be doing this, guys. Thursdays are a lot easier for me personally. Hopefully I can get an all-star cast like the one we had tonight and keep bringing you this customized information for you and for these leagues. We'll go around the horn one more time. Ethan, we'll start with you. Is there anything that you want to say before we get up out of here?
Well, nothing much. Just looking for another great weekend of some football. Hopefully, we can talk about in the Discord chat all weekend. And just looking forward to, the Super Bowl too. Get these drafts start kicking off again.
Absolutely, man. We hope you get better. Thanks for trucking it out with us here.
Of course.
Nick, we'll go to you, man. You got any parting words before we get up out of here?
Yeah, just looking forward to some football, and I can't wait to get back into drafting. For all the new people, I joined last year, and this community has just been so great, so active. It's like a brand new family for me. It's great. I love it.
Absolutely, and we love to have you. My favorite is when you do the little GIF in Discord where you're pandering for attention. That cracks me up every time.
Just a crumb of attention, please.
Chris, my man, dude, you've become my anchor lately. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Somebody asked in chat the game of the century. My game of the century of the week is the Rams and the Bears. Look for the Rams to win that one.
Yeah, like I was saying, you stepped up. You've been my anchor here. You've done so much of the work behind the scenes and made my job a whole lot easier. I have a couple more things to say before I wrap up, but Chris, do you have any parting words before we get out of here?
Nope. Enjoy the football this weekend. We've only got a couple more weekends to go before draft start for the mini leagues. Let's get it.
Hell yeah. 3 things that I didn't mention, guys. We'll make it real quick. Number 1, congratulations to Todd Barber, who got promoted, and he is now our Heroes of Dynasty manager. So thank you, Todd, for stepping up and helping out with that work. You've already done a lot of it. Number 2, Dynasty will have an expansion. It's official. We've decided behind the scenes that we will expand. We're not going to touch the current games for the Heroes or the Dragons. We are going to introduce a third one. It's going to be the Beasts of Dynasty. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to get those images started because that's my bread and butter is creating. And number 3, Seahawks suck.